Broadcasting from Hargeisa, Somaliland, this is CBA. I'm Abdullahi Hassan. Welcome to the top of the hour news brief. Somaliland's Minister of Education denied that some department directories of the ministry are on the run. Minister Usman Chama Adan said that he was not aware of any missing ministry officials. The minister, however, confirmed that the Auditor General has been investigating the ministry lately and that some offices are closed for investigation. He added that the Auditor General requested those offices to be off limits and that the ministry officials are cooperating with the investigation. On the other hand, the minister commented on the role between the Ministry of Education and the private schools, denying that the ministry is going after any particular schools. He added that the ministry is only working on implementing the Education Act and attributed the dispute to private schools' reluctance to comply with the guidelines of the Ministry of Education. The minister, who talked to the press on Thursday morning, announced a new university to build the capacity of public school teachers. A member of Somaliland's House of Elders apologized to the President of Djibouti of a recent criticism to his country by Somaliland's opposition party, OCT. MP Mohammed Abdirahman Ilkacasa criticized what he called an abuse to the Djiboutian government by Somaliland politicians with the pretext of defending the interests of the country. He alleged that Djibouti has a role in the stability that Somaliland enjoys, and therefore Somalilanders should be grateful to their constructive role. He urged the opposition parties to refrain from throwing around baseless allegations against neighboring countries. The diplomatic row between Somaliland and Djibouti started with the leader of OCT party, Mr. Faisal Ali Warabe, who strongly denounced the Djiboutian diplomacy towards Somaliland. The Djiboutian consular to Hargeisa, Mr. Hussein Omar Kawaliya, was angered by the comments from the OCT leader. He said that Djibouti and its government have close working cooperation with Somaliland government and its people. He further threatened that Djibouti will deal with Faisal Al Warabi directly and take actions. Dozens of farms in Somaliland's outer region have been invaded by locusts, creating huge losses to farmers. Farmers say that their crops of tomatoes, lettuce, pumpkins, onions and watermelons had been totally destroyed by the locusts. Sulaiman Hassan Saeed, the chairperson of Halimare Farmers Association, said that 20 farms in the village had been affected, including his 27-hectare farm. His farm had been stripped clean by the swarm of locusts that arrived in the area last month. In a statement, he added that there is nothing to stop the locusts in their early stage. It is sometimes possible to minimize the destruction, but this one cannot be even scared away by pitting tins. Sulaiman and other farmers had been expecting to harvest in October, but they now face huge losses. Farmers have been trying various methods such as burning all tires in the farms to ward off those locusts, but in vain. The invasion by the locusts is said to have begun on 12 September. The governor of Seoul region of Somaliland, Mr. Abdighani Mohammed Sheed, said that the community has welcomed the government's recent disarmament plan in the region. He described the operation as means of enhancing security, adding that the government would not compromise anyone's security. Governor Sheed, who spoke exclusively to CBATV in Hargeisa on Wednesday, 2nd October, said that the plan has resulted in civilians being disarmed and weapons no longer seen in the streets and markets of the provincial capital Las Anod. Speaking on the general situation of the region, he said that Seoul is different from other regions in Somaliland, including security and development challenges. But he said that there are no current notable insecurities or rebel activities along the Somaliland-Puntland border. Speaking further on the security situation in the region, he argued that there have been no militants since 2016 in the region. On the other hand, the governor discussed the recent town planning and development of Las Anod city, which on several occasions there have been complaints that many businesses have been destroyed. He said this was part of the expansion and beautification of the capital city of Seoul. The United States Agency for International Development (USAID) announced that the United States government is providing nearly $257 million in additional humanitarian assistance in fiscal year 2019 to help the people of the Federal Republic of Somalia. The United States is the largest donor of humanitarian assistance in Somalia, and this latest announcement brings the total contribution by the American people in the fiscal year 2019 for Somalia to nearly $498 million. At the Somalia Partnership Forum, Diana Putman, the Deputy Assistant Administrator for USAID, explained that this additional financial commitment is representative of the resolve to support the Somali people in their time of need, and they encourage other partners to join them in stepping up their own commitments so that they can collectively close the humanitarian response plan's financing gap. The assistance will address the life-threatening hunger and acute malnutrition and provide safe water, emergency health care, education and protection to people affected by ongoing conflict and recurrent drought inside Somalia and to Somali refugees in neighboring countries. Somalia recently experienced its worst harvest in 25 years, and up to 2.1 million people could face life-threatening hunger by December of this year, according to the latest estimates. Al-Shabaab claimed responsibility for an ambush using IEDs targeting a Danab commandos convoy on the Mogadishu-Afgoye corridor near Hawa Abdi settlement in Lower Shabelle. According to an Al-Shabaab affiliated website, the Al-Shabaab claimed to have killed 16 soldiers, including 4 Danab commandos. However, other reports say that only 6 soldiers died. Meanwhile, the state of Qatar has strongly condemned Wednesday's explosion. In a statement issued Thursday, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs reiterated the state of Qatar's firm stance on rejecting violence and terrorism regardless of the motives and causes. The statement expressed the condolences of the state of Qatar to the victims' families and to the government and the people of Somalia, wishing the injured a speedy recovery. That's our news brief for this time. Thank you for joining us.